up getting a hit, third time in this win streak that they have had everybody in the lineup get a hit. And the biggest one, of course, was Jung-Hoo Lee, was 4 for 5 twice this year. He's had 4 hits. And Patrick Bailey all of a sudden getting hot. He goes 3 for 5. The bottom of the order, 6 through 9, go 10 for 18. And that's something we want to talk about because the bottom of the order with Jung-Hoo Lee, Casey Schmidt, Drew Gilbert, and Patrick Bailey, they had opportunities and they didn't miss them today. And the Giants stay hot once again, and I'm going to continue to say that, winners of 11 out of 12 games. And now 18 straight games. 18 straight games they've hit home runs. They hit 2 tonight, making it 38 home runs in those 18 games. They have 152 on the season. And in those 18 straight, Rafael Devers and Willie Adames both have 8 each. So the offense continued to rumble and stumble, and they got it going today, and the pitching was outstanding. Carson Seymour, who would have thought he would be in the rotation in September, and he goes 5 innings to get his first major league win. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Just a real nice outing for the young man. 75 pitches, 48 for strikes, 9 first pitch strikes out of 18 hitters. Patrick Bailey really had a nice mix going with him today. He had a sinker through 23 sinkers, 32 straight fastballs, getting it up to about 98 miles an hour. The slider was nice and sharp. That was around 88. A couple cutters, but it was really sinker fastball. And he kept it in command. He got ahead of hitters, and he never got in trouble. The one inning he got in trouble where he gave up a run was in the 5th inning when Crooks got a base hit, or grounder to second, got him over to second, a fly ball by Walker, and Victor Scott just got a base hit up the middle just under the glove of Adames. And that was the only run he gave up. He finished up the inning very proud, and I tell you, that was a great outing for that young man to come in here after a road trip where the Giants have won 3 straight and had all the lights on him in St. Louis. Everybody was wondering if he could get through 3 innings. And, man, he was on fire. 16 first inning pitches, 21 in the second, 9 in the third, 13 in the fourth, 16 in the fifth. So you can see right there he was never in a long inning. So and then it came on. Matt Gage had a nice 1 inning, and Tristan Beck. I think everybody knows how much I really admire this kid. Throws 3 innings, only giving up 2 hits, 1 home run, 3 strikeouts, no walks, 28 strikes out of 42 pitches, and he gets a win or a save. He gets a save on a 3-inning save. Carson Seymour gets the win. He's 1-2. And now they turn the page. Now they go into Mr. Justin Verlander, who threw a good game against Baltimore. But the key here is he threw 121 pitches, so we're going to see what he has in the tank coming into tomorrow's game. And he had 1 more extra day off, which was good for him, and give it a little more rest. And we'll see if the Giants take 5 innings out of him and see if he can give him a little difference in less pitches. I think that's the big thing we want to see in Justin Verlander tomorrow. It's a 4:15 start. Fox has it as the game of the week, going against Andre Palante, who's 6-13, another right-hander, 5.38 earned run average. Cincinnati, he threw 5 innings, only giving up 2 earned runs. Pittsburgh lit him up for 7 earned runs in 5 innings. And Miami also gave up 5 earned runs in 5 1/3. So the Giants will go against another right-hander. And then Sunday, Sonny Gray, of course, the Oakland Athletic superstar. He's 35 years old. I was looking up some stats on him, and I was like, wow, where did that go? Sonny Gray, 35 years old, but he's still pitching pretty well for the St. Louis Cardinals. So we'll talk more about this game, this hot streak the Giants are on. They're 4-0 on this road trip. They have 2 more to go before they come home and face the Diamondbacks for 3 and the Dodgers for 3. And you know what? It's fallen in the NL West. There's no question here. The Dodgers have lost now 4 straight. They lost 3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They lost on a walk-off in Baltimore tonight. They lost 4 in a row. And the San Diego Padres lost 3 to Baltimore, and they lost to Colorado today. So they both have lost 4 in a row, and the Giants are creeping. They're 72-69. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back with the phone calls, 415-808-KNBR. Let's talk some Giants baseball. Let's talk about how hot this team is. 21 games left. 21 games left to see if the Giants can mount an attack and get in this wild card. Or let's try a miracle. Let's win the NL West. I'm Bill Lasky. This is Sports Phone KNBR. We'll be right back on the Sports Leader.
It sound right, boy. It sound right, boy.
Giants fans, this is your hub to have your voice heard. Sports Phone KNBR. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Half of those in a Giants uniform as he swings and belts it deep out to right center. This one on its way. It is gone! It's another first-inning home run for Rafi Devers. The fourth one of those that he has hit in the Giants' last 5 games. And 2 batters in, the Giants lead at 1-0.
Back on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky. The Giants win another game. They won 8-2. They've now won 5 straight. They've won 4 in a row on this road trip, sweeping the Colorado Rockies. They win the first game in St. Louis. Everything is going well for the orange and black. And you start thinking about where it all started. Where did it all come about? And I have to say it was back in Milwaukee after they lost 3 out of 4 from the San Diego Padres, and then they lost that Friday night when Contreras hit the game winner in the bottom of the ninth. It was when Matt Chapman came back. Matt Chapman comes back Saturday, and they reel off 11 out of 12. You don't think this man is so important in that clubhouse, and we know how great he is at third base. It's the presence of a player, and I always say this, the presence of one player that can spark the team, and Matt Chapman is that corner piece that the Giants thrive off of. Willie Adames said it in a post-game show. Devers said it in a post-game show. This is the guy that really puts everybody in place. And him and Willie Adames started having this friendship all the way back in spring training. These guys are going to be in a Giants uniform for many years, welcoming Rafael Devers. Now look how hot Rafael Devers is. My goodness, he's hot. 4 home runs in his last 5 games. He's got 31 home runs now, 16 of them with the San Francisco Giants. And this is the guy that, when Buster Posey traded over, this is the guy we were talking about that we were waiting for. 9 years with Boston, a lifetime 280 hitter, right now hitting 265. And this is what we're looking for, a man that can carry a team, a man that can hit balls out of the ballpark as well as get base hits like he did today in the 4th inning, getting a key base hit for an RBI. These are the things that build a team. This is the momentum. This is what you want in confidence. This is what you bring in character. This is what the Giants are doing, and this is exactly why we are enjoying this run. No more Pat Burrell conversations. No more Damon Minor conversations. No more Buster Posey conversations. No more firing Bob Melvin. When winning happens, all that disappears. All that conversation disappears. And that's what the orange and black are doing for Giants fans right now. 2 more games on this road trip. I said earlier on my extra inning post-game show last weekend, this road trip's going to give you momentum, or it's going to be those hurdles you have to get through. And right now, ever since that homestand when they went 5-1, there's no hurdles in front of this team. They're coming out confident, swinging the bat, and getting some home run balls. And we didn't think this was going to happen. We never saw this team hitting home runs. Come on. And now Willie Adames hitting his 27th, 3 more home runs before we get a player to hit 30 home runs since the Barry Bonds days. This is a team that is not giving up. This team is not going to stop fighting. Continue it game to game. 27 outs is what I always count. 27 outs, get the W, turn the page to the next day. That's what they're doing in that clubhouse right now. Enjoying the time, playing loud music, laughing, joking, giving Carson Seymour a beer bath in the shower because he got his first win. All the fun things to bring in the young players to the older players and everybody just having fun together. That's what a team is, and that's what the San Francisco Giants are doing right now on this win streak of 11 out of 12. All right, 415-808-KNBR if you want to get on the phone lines. Got a couple calls. Let's go to Dennis. He's in San Jose. Dennis, the Giants are winning. They've got a 5-game win streak. What have you seen out of the Giants lately?
Like I tell you, the pitching was what I was worried about, but today was fantastic. He pitched a great game. That's what we need. The hitting's there, man. I always thought the hitting was there. People told me Posey didn't know what he was doing when he made those trades. But look what's happening now, man. These guys are hitting like crazy home runs and everything. Who hits 19 home runs in 19 days? It's ridiculous. It's out of sight. Now, I think we could take 2 more from St. Louis, and I'm hoping San Diego lost tonight. They're 4 back. We're throw back from them too. Either San Diego or New York Mets go down, I'll be happy because we're going to go to the playoffs. If we get in the playoffs and we play like this, you can forget the Dodgers because they've got a chance against us.
Dennis, are you excited tonight? Because I think you're really excited on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, you said the right things. You're absolutely right. The Giants are playing good baseball, averaging around 8 runs a game, which is fantastic. Carson Seymour, a young kid getting a start today, I thought he really threw the ball well, kept his composure, fired up at times with a couple great pitches. And, Patrick Bailey kept him calm and confident, and I think that was a key for him getting his first major league win, Dennis. And I think you're absolutely right with the hitters. The hitters are staying hot. They're staying consistent, and we'll find out tomorrow. What do you think about Verlander tomorrow, Dennis?
I think he's going to win. I'll tell you, he had some rest, but look, if the guy's a professional, he's been in the big leagues all these times, played against a lot of big teams and everything, won World Series. He knows what it's all about. And he's going to go out and pitch his ass off tomorrow. And he's going to win, too, because now we're going to finally hit the ball for him. He should have been like 7 or 8 wins this year, but he couldn't do it because they weren't backing him up. But right now we're playing that good that we can do it. They can back him up, and he might shut him down. He might shut St. Louis down.
That'd be great. That'd be great to see. But, Dennis, thanks for your call. You're fired up, which you should be. All Giants fans are excited, and you are one of them, Dennis. Thanks for the call on a Friday night, Dennis. Let's just look at Justin Verlander's last start. That came on August 31st when the Giants won 13-2 against Baltimore. Justin Verlander had the start. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. But he got in trouble in every inning. He had people on base through walks, base hits. He threw 26 pitches in the first inning, 24 in the second, 24 in the third, 20 in the fourth, and then 27 in the fifth. So there was no light inning. There was no easy inning, which ended up coming up with 121 pitches he threw to get through that 5 innings. And he ended up throwing 81 strikes, which was a key for him. And this was what we wanted to see, Justin Verlander trying to get a win, fighting for a win. But in the long run, 121 pitches for a 42-year-old, we're going to see what he's got in the tank tomorrow. As I said, August 31st was Sunday, so he got an extra day's rest, the 5 days, so he's pitching tomorrow on the 6th day, which should be a little helpful. And let's see what the Giants can do for him. If they can mount an attack and get some early runs, give him a little breather, a couple of innings that he could go 1, 2, 3. I think that's going to be a big key tomorrow. They have not announced a starter for Sunday. It could be Kai Tang. Carson Wisenhunt was on the IL with lower back strain. I'm sure it's going to be Kai Tang, but we don't know what the Giants are going to do for Sunday yet. So we'll find out after tomorrow. Justin Verlander 3-10 with a 4.2 against Andre Palante 6-13 with a 5.3, and that's going to be on Fox Sports Television, but it's also going to be here on KNBR, and I'll take the extra inning post-game show after that. So got some good interviews coming up for the weekend. All right, let's go to Rick. He's in San Jose. Rick, you're on a Friday night sports phone with Bill Lasky. How are you?
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Doing good. Giants are playing good baseball. I think all Giants fans, as well as myself, is enjoying this run, the offense. And they're hitting long balls. They're getting key hits. I loved what they did in the middle innings to get those 4 runs in the 4th. Those are great add-on runs.
Yes, I agree. And you know me, I like to throw those hidden stats at you. Both offensively and defensively, the count's been in our favor, and that's very important to win ball games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a great job with that.
Well, I think they're attacking the ball more. I think they're going the opposite way better. And as you say, they're getting into deep counts. They're not swinging out of the zone. These are all things that they maintained. I had an interview with Oscar Bernard today. We're going to play it tomorrow on my extra inning postgame show. He's one of the hitting coaches along with Damon Miner and Pat Burrell. and we talked about adjustments, and he was talking about taking more pitches and trying to look for a better pitch in the strike zone. And he says, we've been teaching this, we've been, talking about it over and over, and now it's starting to come in with the younger players and the older players. They still swing out of the zone, but at least it's being aggressive.
Yeah, it's been an improvement. And I think that what they're really doing is they're changing a few things to adjust to the team they're playing. And they've been doing a great job at that. Earlier, they were having a lot of problems behind in the count all the time, swinging at bad pitches, being over anxious. But lately, they're really working the pitcher well. And that's very important, though.
I think another thing, too, Rick, as we get into the month of September, the arms are starting to get a little sore. They're getting a little stiff. They're jumping on these starters a little bit more. Of course, playing Colorado and Baltimore and St. Louis, the teams that are falling back in the standings, they're seeing a lot of younger pitchers like Mike McGreevy today, a sinker-slider kind of guy, only gave up 6 home runs, and boom, boom, 2 of them in the first inning, shook them up. There's no question. And then, like I said, in the 4th inning, they got to him, pushed him out of the game. So we got to look at the starting pitchers that are throwing against them. Tomorrow, another young right-hander, and I think that's the attack that they have to get after. They have to get after some of these young guys and try to get them in the stretch early.
They're taking some really good at-bats right now. I'm very impressed. Earlier in the season, I'm like, wow, we're up.
No, I was just going to say, Rick, you were talking about stats. I think the defensive plays that they're making are getting better also. When you're looking at overall numbers on errors, they have 81 errors on the year, and it's lower. It's lower numbers. They're 25th or 26th, somewhere like that. But lately, when you're looking at winning 11 out of 12, they have really cleaned up their defense.
A lot of areas, Bill. It's a total turnaround. And, I'm a Giants fan. If they're losing, I'm with them all the way. I love my Giants. But you know what? Everybody out there, we should all smile and say, hey, we're in it, and thank God. Look at the job they're doing here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they're only 4 games. They're 4 games out of the wild card. They're 4 games behind San Diego, and they're 6 games behind the Dodgers, and they play the Dodgers 7 times. The Dodgers are tanking a little bit here. They're not playing good baseball. Their pitching is not doing well, and they're having troubles on the offensive side. Things can change. We all know that. There's a spark with the Giants. The spark's got to continue through this road trip, and the Diamondbacks are playing good baseball. That's going to be a tough 3-game series, but Bob Melvin and J.P. Martinez has set this rotation up where Logan Webb, Robbie Ray throw Monday and Tuesday, which I love. I think that was a great, great change that they looked at to see what they have to do with these guys. And what happens? They get them again on Saturday and Sunday against the Dodgers. So that's the kind of rotation you're looking at, especially, Rick, when you're looking at 3 after Verlander, 4 or 5, Carson Seymour and Kai Tang, 2 guys that you would have never thought would have been pitching for the Giants in September.
Yes, totally agree with you, Bill. I look at that and I'm going, hey, sometimes you have to have some building blocks that come in late in the season, and things happen to just work out. Whether you go all the way or you just make it competitive, that's all you can ask. But this kid here, this Gilbert, he is really sparking it. Man, I mean, I'm feeling a little Cody Ross here, right?
He's a little spark plug. He's fit in. They're enjoying his energy. They're enjoying that rah-rah kind of guy. And why not? He's a young kid. He's never been in the big leagues. This is the first time he's had an opportunity. I'm impressed with his defense. I didn't know he was that good of an outfielder. He can range in the outfield very well. Got a cannon for an arm. And he's having fun at the plate. He had a nice sac fly today. Boy, they made a great play on him in center field. That looked like a double. But, Bob Melvin's giving him a shot.
Still not going to run, though, Bill. Still not going to run.
He sure did.
You got the RBI, and that's all you can ask. Those little things, those sacrifice flies, we weren't getting those earlier. We're getting a lot of them now. That's important also. Bill, I throw the small stats at you, but those things are really important. Get a runner, you got one out, get that runner in from second on a one way or another. Bunt him over, whatever you have to do. But, hey, you know what, Bill? I know you got other callers. I love you. Thanks for having me, and hopefully you'll take my call again.
Rick, call in. I love talking baseball with you, and I think the statistics we both talked about are all in favor of the Giants, and I appreciate your time on a Friday, Rick. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Let's go out to Berkeley and talk to Andrea. Andrea, how are you on a Friday night?
Oh, I'm doing great. Happy full moon Friday weekend win. We only got the full moon
That was
this
a lot to
weekend.
say right there, Andrea.
I know.
That was a full
try
mouth of words.
Yes, I was trying to think of something special, like Sunday Fun Day. We got that going, and we got the full moon on Sunday. But I thought, since it's Friday, we can start the weekend off with a Friday full moon weekend win. So basically, that was just awesome. I just, fellow Sagittarius, Carson Seymour, December 16th, 1998. So do you remember your first win, Bill?
I do. It was the first start I had. It was the first start when I was a big leaguer. I threw a shutout against the Montreal Expos, a 3-hit shutout. But I didn't get a bath like he got. I didn't get a shower bath of beer and everything else.
Right.
Yeah, I guarantee he's been splashed and thrown all over. But he definitely deserved that, Andrea. He pitched well tonight.
Yeah, quality start. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. I mean, we'll take that any day of the week. That was just really exciting.
Well, Andrea, we got to see what your pitching coach is going to throw out there tomorrow with Justin Verlander.
Oh, yes, the extra pitching coach. Yeah, I mean, he's got 3 wins, so,
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. But I'm on all weekend, Andrea. Give me a shout over the weekend, and we'll talk more baseball. All right, we got to take a quick break on Sports Phone KNBR, and we'll come back with more right here on the Sports Leader.
Giants fans, this is your hub to have your voice heard. Sports Phone KNBR. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
He does not give up many homers as Adames swings, hits a high, deep drive left center. Scott back at the track, and it is gone! Back to back for the Giants as Willie Adames leaves the yard following the Devers blast, and it's 2-0.
Back on KNBR with Bill Lasky on a Friday night. The Giants win the first game of a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, 8-2. The big number, 18 hits. The Giants got 8 runs on 18 hits. 2 home runs all in the first inning with Devers and Adames to keep the home run streak going. And that's 18 straight games the Giants have hit a homer or more, and they've hit 38 home runs in those 18 games. A successful couple weeks here, and the San Francisco Giants are in a hunt. And I said that they are in a hunt. 4 games in the wild card behind the New York Mets, 4 games behind the San Diego Padres in the NL West, and 6 games behind the LA Dodgers to win the division. Oh, yeah, I'm saying it because this team right now, nothing's stopping them. There is nothing stopping this offense, as all 9 players ended up getting a hit or more, of course, with Jung-Hoo Lee getting 4 of them. He was 4 for 5. Patrick Bailey, 3 for 5. Casey Schmidt, 2 for 5. Dominic Smith, 2 for 5. Rafael Devers, 2 for 4. Ramos, 2 for 6. That is offense gelling. That is the Giants' offense that have been winning 11 out of 12 games, and they're back at it tomorrow, 4:15. A Fox Sports game of the week, and Justin Verlander is going to go back out there. He's 3-10 with a 4.2 earned run average. His last game against Baltimore went 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no runs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. He won his last 2 games in a row as he beat the Cubs also. 415-808-KNBR. I have Ben Ross from Channel 4, Cron 4, joining me a little bit later in the show. But let's get back on the phone calls. Let's go to Matt. He's in Long Beach. The Giants are hot. Matt, what have you seen out of this Giants team?
Well, I got a question for you. So I'm sitting in the heart of Long Beach, which is Dodger everywhere. We're sitting over here with the crew, and we're debating on what's happening here. And last time I spoke with you was in 2021. So, yeah, and everybody wants to know where the turning point was. We just can't figure it out.
Well, I'll tell you, I kind of threw it in my open. Matt Chapman joined the club off the IL on that Saturday against Milwaukee after they lost the Friday night game when Contreras hit the home run. And I still think Matt Chapman is the foundation of this team. He's the kind of guy that brings this team together. He talks to the veteran players, talks to the younger players. When he got back in that lineup, you had an extra bat in that lineup, and he did well. And he started on fire that day. And from there on, I really think the Giants took off. They won 2 in Milwaukee. They came back. They took 3 in Chicago against the Cubs. And, of course, the last game in Colorado, hitting 2 home runs. I really believe Matt Chapman is the heart of this team. Defensively, one of the best, but he's also that quiet leader, just like Buster Posey was when he was in that locker room.
You were right. You were right. Yeah, so the woman in the bunch predicted it. Yes, thank you so much. We love you, man. Keep it up.
Well, I appreciate that, Matt. What'd you think of the game tonight, Matt? Don't disappear yet. I mean, they're on a roll right now.
Well, you know, I it's hard to believe. I feel like it's more shocking than the 21 season.
No, we never lost faith.
Well,
see, you got Giants fans behind you, no question. But
we
you know
do.
the thing, they're having fun. World. You know, Matt, they're having fun, and I think that's what we haven't seen in June and July and part of August. When they're having fun, it's you got to watch them. You got to watch every game because they're getting those early runs in the first inning, adding on in the middle innings. The runners in scoring position seems like it's a fadeaway.
Yes, it feels like that. Yes, for sure. But what about the scrappiness of this team, the way that they got out last night or night before last and just said, hell no? Yeah.
That Colorado series was a good series, and having Adames and Chapman get thrown out in that first inning, and how Bob Melvin made all the chess pieces or the puzzle put together, and put Devers at third base. I thought he played exceptional, putting Dominic Smith back at first base, fabulous first baseman. And you had Koss and Schmidt up the middle, and here Schmidt got hit in the arm the night before, wasn't even thinking about playing. He ends up hitting a home run. Those are all your pieces that come together when you have a winning team.
Absolutely. And then Devers, that look on his face when Freeman starts looking at him and starts talking to him. He wasn't even doing anything. He was just watching the ball go out the park. Give me a break.
Let me ask you something, Matt. Did you see him stand at home plate today in the first inning? Did you see him go back and watch that? That was watching the ball. He stood at home plate and watched it. He kind of did a 360 after he hit it, and he never moved, and the ball was out, and then he started moving. So we might see a little more pimping out of Rafael Devers, but you know what? Let him do it. He's got 31 jacks. He should be able to do it.
Yeah, we're finally getting our dues, eh?
I'm having fun with it, and I'm glad you are, and whoever's in the back room is having a good time too. And let's keep watching this orange and black team mount an attack and try to get in the playoffs.
We love you, man. We're going to be listening to you every time you're on the road. Every time you're on the air.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. And tell that person in the background, I love that energy, but I appreciate your time tonight. And keep that orange and black alive in Long Beach.
100%. You got it.
All right. Let's go to Jim. He's in Pleasanton. Jim, you're on a Friday night sports phone with Bill Lasky. How are you doing tonight?
Great. This win streak has everybody a little jacked up, ready to go.
Well, they're playing good baseball. I think that's the whole thing, Jim. They're playing consistent, and they're mounting attacks, and it's not one guy. It's the whole team. I love when I see a hit from everybody in the lineup. That's tough to do, and they've done it 3 times in these 12 games.
Yeah, I think that the pitching staff, if they can, guys get you 3 innings, maybe 4. Verlander in 5 innings, he threw 124 pitches or something?
121 pitches, yeah. That's why I'm anxious to see how he throws tomorrow. But again, he had an extra day off, which I'm glad. He pitched Sunday, and he had that extra day off. So he had 5 days off. It does help, especially throwing 121 at 43 years old. I don't know if I could throw 121 catches yet pitch at 43 years old.
I think what's happened with the team right now is you got new guys up there that the opposition hasn't seen, so especially the pitchers. And they're all, Gilbert is really, whacking the ball all over the place. And then you have, gotta love our catcher. He's really come alive, at the bat in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to me that there's 2 things I think are going on. One, a lot of the veterans players that are, they look at the game both as a game and as professionals. And the last 6 weeks of the season, you either perform or you're gone. You become trade bait. And you look at Devers, you look at Adames, you look at Smith, they're all cranked it up a whole lot from what they did at the beginning or even the middle of the season. And
Jim, I call them your foundation. Those are the veterans that are your foundation. That's what Buster Posey wanted. He wanted the veterans to be the foundation to build off of. And when he got Rafael Devers, 28 years old, a kid that can still pop the ball out, say, hey, come on, you want to play first base? Sure, let's turn to play first base. Hey, we need you at third base. He was great at third base. He wants to DH, let him DH. Then he puts Smith at first base. Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and he's loving it now. You see the excitement. You see his smile on his face. You can't hide how happy he is.
Total turnaround from what it was just around All-Star break and when things went in the toilet, And it's a game. I don't care what the guys get paid, but when you're on a team and you have that spirit and everything, everybody pulls together, is what's happening right now. And it's contagious, and all of a sudden everybody is up there concentrating at bat. They're not, just thinking, I just got to get through this at bat and I'm back on the bench. Who cares, kind of stuff.
Jim, what it makes your team relax. And that's what you want, the stress of all the losing streak. And you could see how many guys were just striking out and looking at the board to see where their pitch was, and their facial expressions were showing the stress and the heartache that they were trying so hard and it wasn't working. Now they strike out, they come back, and they look up, they're like a glimpse, and I'll get him next time. The next guy comes up, and he gets a hit. That's how you do it. And I keep going back to the Bruce Bochy days when you hit in a lineup and you just keep the line moving, and the next guy picks the next guy up, the next guy picks the next guy up. That's what this team's been doing when they've won 11 out of 12.
It's like they played that way in April. They played that way all through spring training.
Correct.
And
they had some good months. When you look at, they started the season 3-1 in March, and then they were 16-11 in April. So they were having a good season. They were 19-12, right? Then May and June bit them. They were 13-14 both of those months. July was a tough one. They were 9-15 after the All-Star break. They took a hard hit. They finish up strong in August at 14-14. Here we are on September 5th, and are undefeated in the month of September.
Yeah, and if they just keep, how many games do you think it's going to take to get into the playoffs?
Well, you got 21 games left, and I was telling my producer Jacob what I did is I kind of looked at the forecast for these teams ahead of them. Like when I looked at the Mets, they got 3 against the Reds, 4 against Philadelphia, 3 Texas, 3 San Diego. So their next 12 games are going to be tough. And the Giants play St. Louis for 3, Arizona for 3, LA for 3. So that's where that kind of mix and match. But then you got to look at what San Diego is. San Diego's playing the Reds, Colorado, and the Mets. The Dodgers are playing Baltimore, Colorado, of course, the Giants and Philly. So there are some glimpses here where you can see where if they win a couple games here and Philly beats, the Mets and maybe, Milwaukee comes in and they end up beating the Dodgers, and San Diego, they play them the last 6 games of the year. I don't know if they're going to rest players or not, or if they want to get in that number 1 position. You're going to have to win 15 or 16 of these games to get in.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's going to take 85, 86 games to get into the playoffs.
Yep, and you're looking at 7 games against the Dodgers, 6 against Arizona. So when you're looking at 21 games left, 13 of those.
Dodgers ain't playing so well right now, so that's not.
None of them. Arizona's playing just as good as the Giants. They're right behind them, but the Padres have fallen as well as the Dodgers. So, you know what? You can't look down the road. I talked to Oscar Bernard today, the hitting coach, and I asked him, "What are you guys thinking about?" And I knew what his answer was going to be. We don't care what we see down the future. We're playing each game and trying to win each game one at a time. I knew that answer was going to come out of it because that's what all coaches do. That's what all players do. Don't look at the scoreboard. Concentrate on the game ahead of you. Win the game with 27 outs. Turn the page. That's the momentum that I want to see this Giants team continue to do.
And they're going to have 40,000 people in the seats for the next 2 weeks. That's going to be
I hope so.
Given.
I hope they come out. And the Dodgers are coming in next weekend, and I'm hoping hell I don't see half that ballpark in blue. I want to see more orange and black and root this team on to some wins here. And let's see what happens, Jim. But again, tomorrow's another day, and let's hope the Giants continue their win. But thanks for calling in on a Friday night. Let's go to Daniel.
We'll follow you all
right. Thanks, Jim. Let's go to Daniel in Sacramento. Daniel, you're on a sports phone with Bill Lasky. A great win tonight. Pretty happy with this Giants team?
Absolutely, Bill. Absolutely. 2 calls ago, the guy asked what the turning point was. A few calls ago, I talked to you on the 15th of August, and I had just gotten home after a week in the hospital, and I was kind of drugged up on pain meds and wasn't really as eloquent as planned. I told you how I felt the team was affected by an invisible hand, and it was affecting their minds, and I used an analogy about writer's block, and your producer suggested winner's block. Well, they certainly have snapped out of that, haven't they? Oh, my God, it's been so much fun to watch. I've had so much fun to watch. Even my wife sits there and watches a little bit. I think they might actually make wild card if they keep this momentum going. They seem to have that winning energy that they did in early June when they were tied for first with the Dodgers.
Right.
So I really love seeing that Gilbert as part of our team. What an acquisition, man!
That's another one of those trades. Yeah, Buster Posey. Buster Posey with the Mets took him, and he was the third player in that. And they also have another pitcher, Blade Tildreau. He's in Sacramento. He's throwing 98, 99. He came up with a little sore shoulder, but he was another guy that they had high hopes for. And, of course, you got Bucco, who's been pitching dynamic out of the bullpen. So, really, three players came out of that for Tyler Rogers. Tyler hasn't had a good time with the New York Mets. He has not done as well as he did here. But in the same time, when you look at what Buster took from the Mets, he won that one.
Well, hopefully we'll get Tyler back because I really love his throwing style. And I was really upset when we traded him away. But I'm not upset anymore. Gilbert's so small and young. He looks like a little leaguer. Every time he comes up to bat, I say, oh, look at him with his little.
He's got that, I call him the Energizer Bunny. I called him the Energizer Bunny the other day when I was talking to Oscar Bernard this morning, and he just laughed. He goes, you know what, Bill, I'm going to steal your line. And I'm like, he's giving the whole team energy. Just the way he hollers and screams and high fives. Now he's taking a helmet off the hitters after they hit a home run. And those are things that are just built inside of him. That's college stuff. That's why I said he came from University of Tennessee. That's the stuff college kids do. That's the kind of rah-rah stuff college teams do. And you know what? He's bringing it into a team of veterans, and they're loving it. And you know what? It's working.
I freaking love it, and I hope as they develop him over the next few years, I hope they keep raising his salary so he stays when his contract comes up.
Well, he's not going anywhere. He's under control. He's under control for the next few years, so he's not going anywhere. He's still a young player. He's not even arbitration eligible. This is his first year in the big leagues. This is his first time he's ever been in the big leagues. So, you know what? He's making a mark. He's making a mark, and I guarantee Bob Melvin and Pat Burrell are loving the energy he's bringing, and his at-bats are pretty damn good.
He does. I was kind of shaky at first. He wasn't hitting the ball, but I thought, you just got to get used to those big league arms, and he seems to have gotten used to it.
I was thinking the same thing, Daniel. They were blowing gas by him time and time again, and I'm like, oh boy, looks like the big leagues. But he worked at it. And talking to different coaches and players, he's in there every day early, and he's working at it, and it's paying off. I love his approach going the opposite way. That ball he hit today, left center field, that center fielder made a great catch on that ball. But still, he got a sac fly, and he got an RBI. But we'll enjoy it more, Daniel. I'll be on the weekends. Give me a shout then, and we'll continue to watch this Giants team stay hot. But thanks for the call. Let's go to Stockton and talk to Joe. Joe, you're on a Friday night with Bill Lasky. Giants are hot. What'd you think so far?
Bill, I'm like you, man. I never gave up on them, even when they were down in August. And I don't think people realize Chapman was hurt. There was something missing, and the guys were relaxed, like you said, man. The stress was getting like anybody does on a job, and they're fine right now, man. Just one game at a time. Don't look forward. Don't look backwards. And everyone's smiling. Devers is relaxed, like you said. Everything's kicking. The pitching's very confident, and I really like that they signed Verlander when I think about it, because, when we had Hudson there, when we had Jake Peavy there, you got to have these veteran guys. They can bring the younger guys along. And you put them in a headlock and say, come on, guys, we can do this. And
the other thing too, Joe. Yeah, Joe, Carson Seymour played a big part in today. He pitched well. And here's a young kid that, came up in a bullpen, started some games in Sacramento. He's like 6'6", 240, a big kid blowing 98. I thought Patrick Bailey handled him so well today in using his sinker at times to get ground balls, getting the fly balls with that elevated fastball, a couple punch-outs. But he was effective today, and I think that's a big word, especially for a young kid. He'll probably get another start because they need a fourth and fifth starter.
They do. Everyone's, and Joel, I can't pronounce Joel's last name, but, they just seem like the pieces are fitting. Gilbert reminds me of bringing in Cody Ross, which was not intentional. They were just trying to get him off the waivers. I mean, things are just falling in place. It's kind of like, when things are going good, you just go out there and play. You're not going to bed
That's
worried.
what you want.
Just going up there. You just get up in the morning, doing your routine, and going to work. And these guys have a workman's attitude. You can see Devers is relaxed.
When I look at Devers, when I look at Devers now, and I watch him when they win, and how happy he is when he's giving high fives and the low fives, that is the face that I love seeing, because now he's engaged. He's excited. He loves his teammates. The teammates have now brought him in, and I think that clubhouse is a big part of Rafael Devers now. As you said it, he's relaxed. He's hitting the ball right on the barrel of the bat. And for what happened in Colorado with the little grimace he had, that team was on that field in a second to protect him. Chapman was out there. Everybody was out there, and they were going to do anything they could to protect him. And that's where that chemistry comes from.
Yeah, this team is what Buster's been wanting. This is the way the Giants played the ball since Bochy was around. This is the attitude. This is the approach. We don't get too high. We don't get too low. We try to score 4 more runs. Our pitching tries to give up 4 less runs a game. Everyone's got a little bit of roll. When somebody goes bad, we pick them up. I mean, Wilmer's not playing very much, but now he's going to be fresh, going to have fresh legs for the next 2 months. We'll be fine.
Well, the other thing, too, they fell behind. They fell behind in Colorado. If you remember, they fell behind, and they come right back and score 2 or 3 runs, and I thought that was a big punch of that game, where they came back and said, you punched us, now we're behind, now it's us that have to come back. And they did, and they ended up blowing that game up. But 3 great games in Colorado where they hit 10 home runs, and then they come back in 2 more in St. Louis today. And tomorrow, I'm sure they're leaving that clubhouse today in high spirits, but at the same time, they're confident. They'll get rest, and they'll come right back to work tomorrow knowing, hey, who's on the mound, what do we have to do, and let's get going. But thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate your time, Joe. Let's go to Mill Valley and talk to Dennis. Dennis, you're on a Friday night KNBR show with Bill Lasky. Giants are hot.
Bill, it's great to talk to you tonight. I'm going to tell you how the season changed for the team and all the fans. Belief is the code that transmits everything into reality, Bill, and players only control 2 things. Skill is physical, performance is mental, and thinking destroys knowing. This whole organization and this whole team changed with Rafi Devers and Drew Gilbert. Drew Gilbert is my most favorite player in any sport around the globe, and he's been the ignition, and he's been the fireworks and the bomb that's just lit off the Giants. Thank you.
He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy where they're kidding with him because he's a rookie. So they're jumping on him, kidding with him, and he's upset. He's accepting everything. He's on cloud 9 for being in the big leagues, and now he's part of this winning tradition they're doing. They're winning, and he's sparking that. He's bringing that excitement into that dugout they never had before. It was kind of low level. He's brought it up to a higher point. The veterans are loving him. They're kidding with him. But you know what? That's what you want out of a rookie.
He's like a fire hydrant, just spraying water and belief all over the locker room. Thanks for taking my call, my friend. Go Giants.
All right. I appreciate your call. And he's so right. I mean, we watched the excitement out of him. And, of course, NBC Bay Area on the pregame show, Rich Aurelia and Alex Pavlovich had some shots of him in the dugout with his mouth wide open. And, of course, after the home run, when Matt Chapman kind of gave him a stiff arm and said, calm down, Rook, calm down. But you know what? Let him go. Let him fly. Let him scream. Get excited. That's what this team is all about right now. They're on an exciting time, a game that you don't want to miss. And tomorrow, 4:15, it's on Fox Sports. You can hear the game right here on KNBR. Of course, I'll have the extra inning post-game show following. But this is what we want to see. This is the road trip. If they can win 1, maybe 2, sweep the Cardinals and come home on a high and go against the Diamondbacks on Monday, Logan Webb will be on the hill. That's what you want, the spark, the lit, sparklet, everything like that. Get it rolling, and they are. And right now we're watching an exciting time for San Francisco Giants baseball in the 2025 season. All right, let's go out to Sacramento and talk to Nick. Nick, what's going on a Friday?
Bill, this was a fun game to watch, and I know everybody's excited.
They sure are. Why not, right, Nick? We've been waiting for it.
True. And you know what? Not only did they win today, but all the teams that needed to lose today lost except for the Mets. And the Giants are making things interesting with how bad the Dodgers and the Padres have kind of fallen off. It's looking like they have a very fun chance to make something happen, and I'm all for it.
Well, I look at it differently. I look at 21 games left, and I look at the wall they got to go through with Arizona for 6 and the Dodgers for 7. The biggest concern I have is starting pitching. That is one of my biggest concerns right now. Carson Seymour pitched a gem tonight. Kai Tang will probably pitch on Sunday. Those are the spots I worry about a little bit when you get into pressure situations in September. Can they relax and do what we saw Carson Seymour today do? And that's what we have to see out of these kids, because we would have never thought Carson Seymour would be pitching for the Giants in a position to get in a wild card or even get close in the NL West. And here's a young kid that went out and pitched a gem tonight. Can he continue? I believe so. But you got to stress to him, we need outs. You don't have to look for length. If you can go out there, give me 3 outs, 6 outs, 9 outs, and continue to get 15 outs with the lead, you did your job. You don't have to look deeper than that. And then you start looking in the bullpen. Peguera, a new name. Matt Gage is a new name. Luke Casey's a new name. Guys in the bullpen are playing a big part that were never even part of this bullpen when they were the best in Major League Baseball in June. So this is the changeover we're seeing, but the changeover right now is belief, Nick, and I think these guys are believing in each other.
Oh, of course. And the last thing I'll say, and then I know there's probably a bunch of other people, they're winning not just because of the hitting. The hitting's been great, don't get me wrong, but the pitching has been awesome. The defense, stellar. It's been a while since I've seen them play this clean of baseball on the infield and the outfield.
I agree.
I've been impressed.
I agree with you. And let's just keep it going. And like I keep telling everybody, one game at a time, 27 outs, get the lead, get the win next day. But you can't look down the road and say, oh, we're playing Arizona next week, we're playing the Dodgers next week. You can't do that. And a team like this won't let them think that way, because if one person opens their mouth and says, look, the Dodgers lost, those veterans are going to tell him, knock it off. We don't care. We don't care about anybody else. We have to care about our business and to get a win. That's what their business is. And let everything happen, all the distractions happen, because I'm telling you, Major League Baseball is looking at the San Francisco Giants right now going, we got a hot team in the NL West, winning 11 out of 12, hitting 38 home runs in 18 games. Oh, boy, something's happening in San Francisco, and Giants fans, we are loving it every day. But thanks for your call, Nick. I appreciate it. Let's go to Randy in Menlo Park. Randy, you're on an exciting Friday night show as the Giants continue their winning ways.
Oh, thank you so much tonight, Bill. Oh, my God. I'm a lifelong Giants fan. I grew up in the Sunset. In fact, I first met you in high school when I worked at Cresselia Jewelers. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, sure I do. I remember that, sure.
I'm a long-time sports fan, long-time San Francisco fan. I'm living in Menlo Park right now, but I was just calling because I think it's so great how hot they are right now, and it reminds me of 2010. And the one thing I would like to comment on, and I'll take my comment off the air, but no one's talking about Bryce Eldridge. And I think that's a great thing, because let the kid learn first base from JT Snow up in Sacramento without the pressure, because 2 months ago, where's Bryce Eldridge? Where's Bryce Eldridge? Now he gets to develop.
Hit his 17th home run the other day.
I'll take my comment off the air, sir.
How about that one, Randy? He hit his 17th home run. Nobody's talking about it, though. But you're absolutely right. You know, he's 20 years old. Buster Posey has said many times, hey, we want to see him mount an attack in AAA. His batting average is still pretty good. His, playing first base very well. And I think the biggest thing that we want is this team of what we're seeing right now is to build amongst each other. Bryce Eldridge is here in the future, no question about it. He'll be in spring training fighting for a job. And, you might see him next year. You may not. But, again, that's up to Buster Posey. That's up to the organization. That's up to Bob Melvin. Those coaches in AAA love him. Those coaches and Dave Brundage and all the other hitting coaches, I can't remember his name, PJ, I can't think of it offhand, but Peltier, that's it. And they love him, and they're loving his progress. And more each day he's getting better. He comes to the ballpark very, very confident. And I think that's what you want to see out of a 20-year-old. And more players down there are doing the same thing. The River Cats are having a great season, and a couple players have come up here. And I think when we're talking about Drew Gilbert coming over from the Mets, coming into a new organization, eyes were on him. He got a shot. Now he's up here, and now the big leaguers love him. And that's going to be hard for him to go back down to AAA when he's doing what he's doing and he's working his tail off, playing good outfield. He's left-handed, playing right field very well. And, he's hitting the ball when he needs to, putting the ball in play, get a couple home runs. And those are the little sparks any team needs, and especially in September when you get a young player like a Drew Gilbert or a Carson Seymour to perform at this level, that's what makes a team get better and better. And I really think this team has got a lot better in the 2 to 3 weeks, not just on the field, but in that clubhouse. And that's where it all builds that chemistry and the confidence. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Got a couple more calls coming in. Also, I got a conversation with Ben Ross coming up from Channel 4 Sports. So we'll take a quick break, come back with more right here. I'm Bill Lasky. This is KNBR, the Sports Leader.
The nighttime is the right time for Sports Phone KNBR. Let's go on the sports leader. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
2-1 to count. The pitch. Lee with a shot past the diving Gorman down the right field line. Walker a long run to get to it. Chapman is rounding third. He's on his way home, and he'll make it without a throw. It's a triple for Jung-Hoo Lee and an RBI. He's in standing at third, and the Giants now have a 7-1 lead.
Back on Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Lasky on a Friday night. Giants continue their winning ways. They've won 5 in a row, beating the St. Louis Cardinals 8-2 in St. Louis. The big number here, 8 runs on 18 hits. That's right, 18 hits by the San Francisco Giants. 2 home runs, back-to-back home runs with Devers and Adames in the first inning, and it keeps the home run rate going. They've had 38 home runs in 18 straight games. But that clip you just heard, Jung-Hoo Lee, what a nice game he had. Went 4 for 5, and of course hit a triple down the right field line. His batting average is now .268. It's rising, and he's having a great second half here in the month of August and now the month of September. So good job by Jung-Hoo Lee. I'll be doing the Extra Inning postgame show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Had a nice conversation. I talked earlier with Oscar Bernard. He's a hitting coach along with Damon Miner and Pat Burrow. We talked a lot about the hitting and how it's got contagious. And then I caught up with Matt Gage, a pitcher that was drafted by the San Francisco Giants, a full circle as he ended up pitching with the Giants, and then he pitched with Toronto in the big leagues, a little bit with Detroit and Houston. Now he's been pitching stellar out of the bullpen for the San Francisco Giants. Pitched 1 inning today, giving up 1 hit, punched out 2. Earned run averages in the low 1s. And then I caught up a fellow teammate, Joe Patini, played with him in the early 80s with the San Francisco Giants as a middle infielder. He ended up coaching 10 years with the St. Louis Cardinals under Tony La Russa, a couple of World Series championships. And we talk a lot about the Cardinals and what he saw with Albert Pujols, Molina, and Jimmy Edmonds, and a lot of guys that he ended up being part of. So some great interviews down the road here on the next Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday on Extra Innings. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Let's go to Folsom and talk to John. John, Giants win again. They won 5 in a row. What do you think of this hot team?
Hey, Bill, it's crazy. John here. This is first-time caller to any radio show in my life. I'm 66 years old, and you do an awesome job, so I love it.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, John. You need to call more. Come on, buddy. Pick up that phone. Call me on the weekends.
Right. My question is this, Bill. In a nutshell, what changed in the sense of, was it a thinking, a strategic change, or a management or thinking, or a player thinking, or was it a human thing in the sense of, like Adames, he's a late bloomer and he rallies late in the season, and then that became contagious. What do you think? Is it a thinking thing or a human thing?
Well, I think it was human, and I tell you this, and I said this earlier in the show about Matt Chapman coming back from the IL. You know, it was real difficult for Casey Schmidt and Cosplay third. The injury to the hand, he had to take more time off of it. And then when he came back that Saturday in Milwaukee, it brought a spark to the lineup. It brought that third base defense back. And he is the catalyst in that clubhouse. He's the guy they thread off of. They talk to him. He is the nucleus guy. And with him joining with Rafael Devers and getting to know him, because they didn't know each other. Same thing with Willie Adames. Right. You know guys from other teams, but you don't know them personally. And they had to bring in Rafi Devers into this clubhouse and make him feel comfortable, make him be happy. And you could see Devers trying so hard, swinging so hard and striking out so many times, he was stressing himself out. And you had to bring that calmness back. You had to bring him into a relaxed mode. Once you got that back, and you started seeing Ramos play a little bit better defense, and he was scrapping in the outfield, you started seeing Jung-Hoo Lee doing what Jung-Hoo Lee can do. Put the ball in play. Go the opposite way. Don't be a home run hitter. And then you had a spark plug with Casey Schmidt. Casey Schmidt, I thought, was a big, big plus when he played third. Then they moved him to second base, and he had to really play good second base. But then you start looking at what's happening around that whole team. And we keep talking about Drew Gilbert, that little spark plug, that little light that sparks the team. He brought energy to this team. He brought a little cockiness to this team. But you know what? That's what they needed. I really think all these little things played a big part of it. And once you start winning, they took 2 from Milwaukee. Those 3 games against Chicago, those were the ones that brought this team together. That series right there played a really tough series against the Cubs. And then you went into Baltimore wondering, okay, can we beat a last-place team? They took 2 out of 3, and I was on weekend when Rogers threw that game on Saturday when they got demolished 11-1 or whatever it was. On my post-game show, I said, we're going to see the character of this team tomorrow. Because if they can come back and win tomorrow, they're on a roll. And they did. And I thought that was a huge character builder by getting stomped on Saturday by a left-handed pitcher and then coming back on Sunday and beating the hell out of the Orioles.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome, Bill. And I think the fact that it's a human issue, where the human character comes out, and maybe it takes that one freaking spark plug, right? It takes that one spark plug, and it becomes contagious to a certain degree versus the management strategy and all that. Management strategy is great. That's awesome. However, if the human piece of that is not pumping, and it's just amazing. The game of baseball, basically, we are witnessing, if you will, we're witnessing the human piece of baseball that's so magical and powerful as far as what they can do when things, when they get going and when it gets contagious. I'm glad they caught a fire. Right, it was looking a little.
And the other piece too is you noticing the lineup staying the same. You're not having people jumping around anymore. You got that same lineup. You got the core guys in those top 5 spots, 6 spots, maybe even 7 spots now. And that plays off to each other too, because you know what the guy in front of you is going to do. You know what's going to happen. If he makes an out, I got to come through. And that's what this lineup does. And then when you turn it over again, my goodness, coming right back with Ramos and Devers and Adames right back at you at the top of the order. That's a scary part for pitchers. I was a pitcher when I had to face those guys when they came around to 9, and then all of a sudden the leadoff hitter's right back at you. It comes around pretty fast at you.
Yeah, you brought an excellent point. I think for the first time this year, opposing pitchers might be fearing some Giants hitters.
No question.
For the first time this year. What do you think?
I tell you, if I'm sleeping and my name's Andre Palente and I'm watching this team get 18 hits today, I'm saying, please, God, I hope they don't have 18 hits tomorrow. But you know what? He's sleeping. He's sleeping thinking about this, and pitchers do that. I've been there the night before, or when you're pitching the next day and you're watching this team club the ball all around a ballpark, and you look around and you hear, they have 38 home runs in 18 games. My goodness. And you know what? We'll find out if they can club him around tomorrow, and let's see what happens. He's given up 20 home runs on the season. So, you know what? It's a good sign for the Giants, but we got to see if Justin Verlander can go out there and throw. I'm really kind of wondering how he's going to be after throwing 121 pitches. But we'll find out. He's a veteran pitcher. He'll get through it. But thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate your time. Let's go to Sean in Roseville. Sean, you're on the next, almost said it, Sports Phone KNBR show with Bill Lasky. How are you?
Hey, Bill. Thanks for taking my call tonight. That last guy kind of covered everything I wanted to talk about. And,
that's okay. We got a lot to talk about, Sean. Come on, let's talk about Carson Seymour today.
Carson Seymour was my favorite part of the whole game, to be honest with you. That guy was awesome tonight. Big, tall guy, pitching with tilt, getting a lot of fly balls to Ramos tonight. Ramos got a lot of work. I heard you say that, and that's what I noticed about the game is Ramos played a really good left field, and I know he's been kind of shaky.
He got 6 ground balls and 7 fly balls, and that's pretty good when you got a sinker going, so you get the ground balls. Go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many fly balls he got tonight. Like, I was like, man, this guy. And they were in the park. You know, they weren't. You know, he didn't give up the home run. Somebody else gave up the home run tonight.
That was Tristan Beck did. But still, Tristan through 3 innings got the save.
Yeah, it was a solo home run, no damage. You know, solo home run. It was just. I know everybody wants
all
to talk
around
about
good
Drew
game.
Gilbert.
It was an all around good game, and the key to it is you know. Yeah, Sean, when you go into a 3-game series, especially on the road, that first game's a big win because now all you got to do is win one more and you win the series. And this team has been playing so well. They've won 4 straight series, so this would be 5 straight series. Win one more and get greedy and win Sunday.
And I have not been so excited to come home from work to watch the Giants every night like this week. And last night I was like, I had to watch the NFL, and I was like, I could care less about the NFL, but like I was so excited to come home and watch baseball tonight.
Yeah, Saturday 4:15 game, and then Sunday 11:15 game. So the times are working, and let's just see if this orange and black can continue this road trip as they swept the Rockies. And hey, you know what? I want them to sweep the Cardinals. That would be a great 6-game win streak on the road to come home. But you know what? We don't worry about Sunday until you get the win on Saturday.
Hey, Bill, don't cut me off. So I took a picture. My mom used to take me to baseball games down at Dodger Stadium because she has a brother down there. And I sent a picture to you on Twitter one time. You were doing your road work or whatever. You were running the morning track. And I sent it to you, and you replied. So I'm always grateful for that. Like,
that's
I'm
great.
old.
You know what?
I'm 51. I'm 51 years old, and you like I'm an old school. You had the orange Giants jerseys on, and you were doing your lap around the warning track. Man, I'm just excited. I'm excited that they're fighting. You know, and if we don't make it, we don't make it.
You know, I kind of did a rant on them when they were losing. I was pretty upset at the focus and how hard they played. And, you know, people say, are you mad you did it? And I go, absolutely not, because more Giants fans said, you said exactly how we feel. And that's how I felt. I was like, this isn't Giants baseball, making too many errors, base running blunders, not hitting, giving up 16 hits. It was pathetic. It was downright ugly baseball. And, you know, it changed, and it changed in a way where they started feeling we have to do this. The players said it. Don't look at the coaches. Don't look at Buster Posey. We as a player and pitchers have to play better. And Giants baseball started taking off. And now we're starting to see a team smiling, high-fiving, taking helmets off, going down a tunnel in the dugout. That's what I love. That's the excitement of being a Giants fan.
And Bill, don't forget, I'm going to have to find that picture and send it to you again. Do you still do Twitter?
I'm still on it at Lasky19. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I'm going to send it back to you and just to show you that's how
I'll
long
take a
I've been
peek at it, Sean. But thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, and I thank you for the call. I'm on weekends. Give me a call then. We'll talk more baseball, but have a great rest of the Friday night, Sean. Thanks for the call. All right, coming up next, I'm going to sit down and take off the phone calls, and let's talk a little more baseball with my good friend Ben Ross from KRON4. He does a great job over there on the sports side. We're going to talk baseball with him coming up next right here on the Sports Leader.
This is the flagship of Giants baseball. Double play! KNBR and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader. Giants fans, this is your hub to have your voice heard. Sports Phone KNBR. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
All right, back on KNBR on Sports Phone show on Friday night with Bill Lasky. Giants keep winning. They've won 5 straight. This road trip, they're 4-0, sweeping the Colorado Rockies and taking the first game against the St. Louis Cardinals. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. Justin Verlander takes the hill at 4:15. It's a Fox game against Andre Palante, a right-hander, 6-13 with a 5.38 earned run average. All right, coming up next, my good friend works at KRON Channel 4 Sports. Let's bring on Ben Ross. Ben, how are you this evening?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. When you do post-game shows when they win, especially 11 out of 12, post-game shows seem a little more exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the last time we talked, it was the exact opposite of this. So nice to see them turn it around.
Yeah, they've been playing good baseball, and a lot of callers seeing the confidence and being relaxed playing. And you see it from the core guys, Ben. You see a Matt Chapman, you see a Willie Adames, Rafael Devers. These are the 3 guys that are building the foundation of this team with long-term contracts. And you're starting to see a little bit more flavor in them. They're having fun, high-fiving, smiles all around. I think that's what's the key here.
Absolutely. It's contagious. I mean, right? Losing was contagious and bad baseball, and now we're seeing the exact opposite. Obviously, winning, kind of breeds that happiness and that joy. But I think you're right. I think maybe that's sort of that relaxation and maybe taking things less seriously. You always talk about it in baseball. You can't try too hard. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's like if you try too hard, you're not going to do well. You just have to go out, remember it's a game, and whatever has happened, they have found something. And as the kids say, Bill, the vibes are immaculate.
Well, a few callers today asked me, where the change? How did it happen? Who did it? And I reflect back to that Brewers game on that Saturday, Matt Chapman coming off the IL, and I just felt that he's the staple guy in the lineup. He may not, he's hitting 225, 230, but he does something to this lineup. He brings longevity because he's got a long-term contract. He brings that gold glove defense at third base. He goes to the mound and talks to pitchers at different times that kind of calm them down. Willie Adames is doing that also. And I really think he's the catalyst on the team. I think he's that leader in the clubhouse, and he's a quiet leader like Buster Posey. I'd love to hear your thoughts. When do you think this team did turn it around?
I think that's a great point. And I agree completely. I mean, with Matt Chapman, you can't always just look at the stats. Like you said, he plays such good defense. And whether he's hitting or not, because he can be a little bit streaky at the plate, but he does add something to the lineup. I mean, look, it's a lineup that all of a sudden is hitting for a lot of power. And I don't think that's a coincidence that, that sort of took off when he came back and got healthy. And what you'll see from him at times is when he gets hot, when he goes on one of his streaks at the plate, he can carry a lineup for a while. And so I think that was huge. But yeah, to your point, I would agree. I think it was going to Milwaukee. I mean, that was right after they'd lost a few in a row to San Diego, and they were right in that bad streak. And you figure, oh my gosh, they're going to Milwaukee against the best team in baseball, and everyone expects them to get swept there. The Brewers were rolling at that point, and all of a sudden, they lose the first game in a one-run game, and they bounce back and win 2 in a row on the road, and then they come back home and start to tear it up. So. Yeah, I mean, I think I would point to that Brewers series. That had to give them some confidence, just going on the road, reminding themselves, hey, we're a pretty good team when we're at our best. There's a lot of talent on that roster, and they're certainly playing like it now.
Ben Ross joining me on Sports Phone KNBR. Of course, you can see him on television on KRON Channel 4 Sports. Have you heard anything about the suspension? I know he went to fight it. I don't know. I didn't hear anything today. I don't know when they're going to review it, if they are. I just thought the little push, I didn't think he deserved a game. I thought he deserved a fine like the other ones. Your thoughts on that? Because I don't know if they've even looked at it yet.
I would expect some sort of a ruling pretty soon, but you're right. I have not heard anything about it, and I think I agree with you. I mean, especially the fact that I don't know if baseball actually takes this into account with these suspensions, but when you look at the fact that was right in the first inning and he didn't even have an at-bat yet, I mean, it's essentially he got suspended for a game already by being ejected from that one. So I thought that was enough, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, hopefully it gets overturned and it won't be a suspension. I was going to say, you wonder if at some point Bob Melvin and Matt Chapman get together and say, well, we could use a day off today anyway, and maybe just serve it at that point. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't serve it that first game in Colorado when he hit 2 home runs.
Oh, my goodness. He smoked that ball. He came right back on Wednesday and smoked it. Had a great game that day. But, when you think about what happened that day when Adames and Chapman both got thrown out in the first inning, I loved what Bob Melvin did. He just kind of kept calm. Everybody goes, well, he should have been out there arguing. No, he didn't. He didn't need to do that because everybody came out. Everybody was pushing each other. It was one of those kind of fake brawls that everybody's ready to throw a haymaker, and nobody did. But he kept calm. And what he did, Ben, is he said, how can we change this infield? And how can we make this better? Because he lost his left side of the infield. By putting Devers at third, putting Koss at short, and then putting Schmidt in, which was, I couldn't believe it because he got drilled the night before, and then putting Smith at first base, I thought it was excellent. I really thought that was one of the best moves he did in that game.
Hey, it paid off. And before I get to that, I didn't hear if you mentioned it, but did you see what Kyle Freeland did tonight in his first start since 8 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts against the Padres? So maybe he helped the Giants out a little bit tonight after
he threw a gem. I think he only like 81 pitches after 8 innings. It was remarkable what he did.
Yeah, only gave up 2 hits. Unbelievable. His ERA is still above 5. But no, I think what that game showed, and to your point with Bob Melvin and having to replace the whole left side of the infield, it showed the Giants' depth. I mean, right now, for a while it felt like they couldn't find anybody in the lineup to be a spark, and right now everybody's rolling, and someone goes down, they've got someone else to step up, and the depth of the lineup was huge there. The very next game, I think that was the game where Chapman hits 2 home runs. That was sort of the wild Coors Field game that they won 10-8, and people were talking on Twitter, and I agreed. I mean, that was the type of game where they had a big lead, they lost it, there was some controversy with a missed third strike call. That's the kind of game that a month ago they would have lost. There's no way they'd come back and find a way to regain the lead and win it. And I thought it was a really impressive display for them to keep their poise and just keep the bats going and sort of overcome that and still get a win. So right now, yeah, like you said, they're having fun and it's just contagious.
One of the players that I've been watching, every day, and he doesn't play, and they're resting him here and there, is Jung-Hoo Lee. And I'm glad they're resting him here and there. This is a kid that really came from Korea and never played a 162-game season. And in Korea, they give him a full day off. They give the whole team a full day off during the week, so they don't play every day. And, his size is something I look at. He's not a really big guy, but he's quick. He's got good hands. And I think that day of rest when they put Gilbert out in center field, I think it's really helped him. Today, fabulous day today, going 4 for 5. He doesn't swing like he used to, where he'd swing, the helmet would come off, trying to hit the home run ball. He's more of a contact hitter. And you've been watching it, Ben, just like I have. I think his change of his thought pattern in hitting has gotten a lot better.
I agree. Yeah, and I think the Giants, obviously they don't need him to be a power hitter. They need him to be that contact guy who uses his speed, gets on base. I mean, 4 hits, as you said tonight. His speed can be a weapon, but only if he's getting on base. And so, yeah, I like what he's done with his swing. again, it just feels like everybody in the lineup right now is sort of locked in. And it's so rare in baseball to see that. I mean, it is. I think the Giants tonight, I think, was a fifth straight game with double-digit hits. So I mean, it's just up and down the lineup. It's been fun to watch.
Well, the other thing too, in the 12 games, 3 times in these 12 games, we've won 11. 3 times everybody got a hit in the lineup. 3 times, and that's a lot of hits. And they got 18 today. And Patrick Bailey seems like he's got a better plate appearance. He's got a little bit more thought pattern on how he's pulling the ball, going the opposite way. That is a huge part. If he can do something, they're bottom of the lineup today, 6 through 9, win 10 for 18. That doesn't happen much in this lineup because usually 7, 8, 9 are always out. But they have changed a little bit down there with Schmidt now playing, hitting 7th. And, of course, the spark plug, Drew Gilbert's getting some opportunities. And Matos also has had some opportunities. So, you know, when you're looking at Patrick Bailey, that's kind of where I'm looking at now. Boy, if he can just get a couple hits here and there, driving a run or two, that is a huge plus.
Absolutely. I mean, this was his 3rd straight multi-hit game, I believe. And like you said, a 3-hit night. Yeah, clearly with Patrick Bailey, you know, you're going to get a good defensive catcher and a guy who really controls the running game of your opponent. But anything he can contribute is huge. And like you said, the bottom of the lineup, when they can contribute the way they did tonight, or even not quite, you know, you're not going to get 10 hits very often from 6 through 9. But, yeah, just competitive at bats and just to lengthen the lineup a little bit, it makes it so challenging, especially when some of those guys get on base at the top of the order. Then all of a sudden you've got Ramos and Devers and Adames hitting with runners on base. So, yeah, it's just been an amazing turnaround because, I feel like the last few times we were talking, we were just like, who's gonna be the spark in the lineup? Why can't they hit at all with runners in scoring position? And now they're all doing it.
It seems like, Ben, you and I always had the losses to talk about and not the wins, and today is just a big turnaround. And, you know, the questions that have asked me here in the last week or two is, what are my concerns coming down with 21 games left? I'll tell you mine, and then maybe you can tell me yours. I just think starting rotation is going to be tough.
Yep.
You got Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, who you're depending on. Now Justin Verlander going tomorrow after he threw 121 pitches. I saw a lot of good in Carson Seymour. I saw a lot of good in Kaiwei Tang. But now you're going to face the top teams in the NL West. The Diamondbacks are playing very well. And, of course, the Dodgers. And you got to play the Dodgers 4 times in L.A. That's my concern, starting rotation. I'd like to hear what you think about what is your concern with 21 left?
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. That was exactly what came to mind. And again, credit to Seymour, who was great tonight. And credit to the Giants, who have found ways to win even on some off nights from their starters. But, yeah, that's definitely the concern for me is that right now I don't really have a whole lot of trust in anyone outside of Webb or Ray. The Verlander's looked better a couple of his last starts. I don't know if the consistency is there. So, I mean, the only good thing I'll say is that typically – when it comes to a starting rotation, that type of a concern is more of a concern over a long season. Short sample size, we're down to the final few weeks. You're hoping that maybe you can get by and rely on your bullpen a little bit too, and then maybe get some good starts when you pick your spots. But that definitely does concern me, is how are those guys 3, 4, and 5 in the starting rotation? Can they give the Giants enough quality innings to keep them in games?
I agree totally. And then you look at the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals got a lot of young players up in the big leagues. You know, Contreras is now taking his suspension of 4 games. Arenado, who's been a Giants killer, has got a hurt shoulder. And then you look at Donovan, who's had a groin injury, and he's been the hottest hitter in the Cardinal lineup. So they are catching the Cardinals at the right time because there's a lot of youth in their lineup. And that's why I say, you know, win tomorrow and then get greedy against Sonny Gray on Sunday and see if you can pull out of a sweep. But tomorrow, I think this team can beat up on this pitcher, Andrea Palante, because he has been giving up 20 home runs. He only has, 100 strikeouts and 144 innings, 156 hits. He's given up a lot of earned runs. And this is a guy, I think, when you get a guy at this time of the year where he's given up a lot of hits and runs, all of a sudden you mount an attack and he's going to give it up. And this is where the Giants can monitor that early inning account. And they've done this in the 5 wins. 4 times they scored in the top of the first inning. That's a huge boost of anything that you can look at when you're looking at a team to continue a winning streak.
It's huge. And, we talk about the Giants starting pitching. That's huge when you can give your starter an early lead. It just makes such a big difference. But you're right. I think Palante obviously has struggled this year. 5.38 earned run average. So hopefully the Giants can do exactly what you said. Just, not try and do too much. Just keep doing what they've been doing. They've been having great at-bats against whoever they've been facing. And, again, you don't want to look too far ahead down the schedule. You just keep winning games. And, they've been getting some help in the standings as well. The Padres have lost 5 in a row now. The Mets are, the Mets are playing a little bit better than they were. But and then you talk about the Dodgers, who are coming up. Obviously, they've got a couple series still against them. They've really been struggling. So, just keep taking care of business if you're the Giants and see what happens.
Yeah, and I said this earlier, Ben. I interviewed Oscar Bernard today, and he's a hitting coach along with Damon and Pat. And, I said, the cliches always go back in my college days, minor leagues, and even in the big leagues. You don't look at the score. You don't look at the standings. One guy pops off. You tell him muzzle it because you don't want to hear about it. You want to take care of that game and worry about it when you leave the locker room. Then you can take a look at it and see where you are, because those little things can change the momentum of a game. Those little things can get you a little, cocky and arrogant. And those veterans on this team go, no. There's still 21 games left. We got to get 27 outs tomorrow and win that, and then look into Sunday. That's the momentum, and that's what Oscar said. He goes, Bill, our veterans are telling these guys, don't worry about what we're doing when we come home. Let's take care of business today. I love that. I love hearing that stuff.
And you can see it. It's exactly what you said right when we first started this conversation. It's the joy that they're playing with and the looseness and the fun they're having, not just as individuals, but as a team. The celebrations are great. You talk about Drew Gilbert, who's absolutely insane, but I love it. That's the kind of baseball that I think people have been wanting to see. And when you can relax a little bit, that's when you start playing better. And hopefully fewer mistakes happen, and that's what we've seen. So, I think whatever happens the rest of the year with the Giants, whether they make this comeback all the way, make the playoffs or not, I think people are just happy to see, this is the team that we knew they could be. We didn't want to see the awful baseball continue because that's just not who they are. And so it's nice to at least see them playing good ball again.
And I'll agree to that one, Ben, but I just want to appreciate your time once again. We'll hook up again before the season's over, and let's get another win next time, and we'll have a nice, enjoyable conversation like we had tonight.
Love it. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. That was Ben Ross. Of course, you can watch him on KRON Channel 4. Does a great job with Scott Reese handling the sports department. All right, we're going to end the show right now. A great show. Again, the Giants win 8-2 in St. Louis. They're now 72 wins and 69 losses. They've won 5 straight games. They're going to do it again tomorrow at 4:15. Justin Verlander on the hill for the San Francisco Giants. He's 3-10 with a 4.2 earned run average, and he's won his last 2 games against Baltimore and the Chicago Cubs, going against Andre Palante. Of course, Andre Palante, 6-13 with a 5.3 earned run average. First pitch right here at 4:15 on KNBR. It is also going to be on Fox Network as the game of the week. I want to thank Ben Ross for being on the show tonight. Thank him. He'll be on all KNBR podcasts if you missed that. I'll be handling the extra inning post-game shows tomorrow and Sunday, so join me over there. I want to thank my producer, Jacob Violante, today. Did a great job. And thank you, Giants fans, for calling in. Great conversation. Do it again tomorrow. I'll be right back here on KNBR, the Sports Leader.